Storyboarding. So as you can see, I've just quickly, Blue Peter style, whipped these up quickly based on, what was her name, Maeve. Then I put these facial hairs on, but actually that gave me a detail about her. So actually let's look at these details we've got quickly. We can look at how to turn them into the next stage, which is beginning to put them into a sort of story comic strip. So we got Maeve C. I've called, because remember we had two Maeves. So that was one of the ideas that came out from the drawings. We had two Maeves. There was Maeve, I've called Maeve, the older Maeve, Maeve Senior, if that's okay. Maeve Senior likes to wear a false moustache beard. So I've actually put that stupid thing that I did very facetiously. I've put that into the story now. Guy Fawkes reenactment, question mark. So that's a possible detail idea. When I say details, what I mean is just like an idea, an image, some dialogue, but you know, just a kind of detailed pinpoint version of that. Most frequently used phrase, she says, "It's not for me." That's her most used phrase. It's not for me. And then from this Guy Fawkes reenactment, I thought like maybe she's a widow. Her husband owned a costume and wig shop. And then we've got the young Maeve here, Maeve Junior. She loves the smell of talcum powder. That's a fact. That's like a detailed fact about her. And then I thought Maeve Senior smells of talc. And then I thought image. Then from that I got an image. See, everything kind of interrelates basically. The ideas, one comes from another, and you think of a sort of a connection. The connection from this one is she likes the smell of talcum powder. Maybe the older Maeve smells of talcum powder. This is just off the top of my head. You guys will think of something way better than this. Image of small girl following older woman via trail of smell. Where I don't know where they are. Maybe they're in the supermarket. She's following her around. And then from that also ideas of cross-generational names, secret union or society from, you know, like young children born today with older person names from previous generations. That's just a sort of, I would say that's a theme. That's some dialogue. That's a detail. Her cat is named the Commander because we drew the cat on a lead. But you know, a lot of these things will fall by the wayside, which is good. That's good. If you have more than enough ideas to use, that means you can ignore the really terrible ones. Possibly the cat commander one, possibly the idea of cross-generational secret society of young children and old people. So maybe I would begin drawing that simply. I'm going to try and make it a tiny bit less scrappy and illegible than my normal storyboards. So maybe I'll just draw a box. I would do it, you know, roughly scrappily like this. So maybe I'll draw the aforementioned Maeve in her husband's empty shop, and we know her husband's not around anymore, so maybe the shop is like dark, and so maybe a note to myself, I'd probably put like closed costume shop. It's just like with films, you watch films or whatever, so that you'd have like a nice wide establishing shot, and then maybe you'd have just like in a film or a TV show, you'd have a close-up of her looking. It's a lot of pictorial storytelling rather than just people talking to each other or dialogue. It's like pictorial. This is like a very rough, bad version of that. You see her hand reaching out. And we were talking about different frame sizes or whatever, so maybe we see a hand pick something up. You don't know what it is. It's just, you could keep it vague, especially if it's in a dark shot. So a hand picks something up. That's Maeve's hand picking something up. Then maybe we see what it is she's picked up. And then at the end, so we were talking about, frame. We were talking about different, layouts, whatever. So you can see there's a nice big, these are all kind of small shots at small frames, and then there's a nice big frame for this kind of slight reveal, slight exposition reveal. And then maybe to end it, we could just have her going out of the shop door. Maybe I'll put this detail of like, it would say open here. So obviously you can see that obviously it says the other way around would be closed. So she's in the shop, and maybe here, for the next scene, you could use a narration box we talked about earlier. Telling you that the narrator was indulging in her favourite smell, which we know what that is. So hopefully that was, seeing me do this in a very rushed, terrible fashion is going to hopefully encourage you guys to do almost certainly better in the getting from the whatever fledgling state your ideas into getting a few more. It's fledgling, you're getting a few more wings on it. Maybe the wings are beginning to beginning to fly, and then you're flying into the stage of drawing, the final stage of drawing the actual thing, now drawing your story. And I'll see you in the final section of this class, where I will be talking to you about getting some advice about how to keep going, how to stay drawing, how to not get demoralized, how to deal with crippling self-doubt, all the good stuff. So good luck drawing and writing and thinking. Have fun.